as the white flag is raised. And they're off. And the 9-runner Yulong Pretty Polly Stakes, Group 1 for fillies over 1.25 miles. Out in front, Goldana, headed now by Trevaunance. Close up is Above the Curve, followed the end of the first furlong by Ross Carberry. These are being tracked by Curragh, the Guineas third, as they continue on just outside the final mile, and it's Trevaunance leading by half a length to Above the Curve, a length back to Ross Carberry, just in third from Curragh, and then Insinuendo. Shuffle back is Goldan on the inside of Never Ending Story, followed by Via Sistina, and at the rear of the field, fellow English runner Stay Alert as they turn to head uphill. In the lead is Trevaunance, followed by Above the Curve, a shining light away from home, particularly in France, tracked by Ross Carberry, and then Curragh. Next on the inside, Goldana, with Never Ending Story, and Insinuendo a couple of lengths back to Via Sistina, and the overall back marker heading for the halfway stage is Stay Alert. Very few changes as they come up to the top of the track. Trevaunance on the inside, and returning Shane Foley with a narrow advantage from Above the Curve and Ryan Moore. Less than 2 lengths back to Ross Carberry, Billy Lee disputing third with Curragh and Rory Cleary, followed downhill for the approach to the straight by Goldana, Dylan Brown, McMonigal on the inside of Never Ending Story and Wayne Lorden. Nudged along is Insinuendo and Declan McDonough, and still being weighted with both Via Sistina, Jamie Spencer and Stay Alert, Ronan Whelan. At the head of the straight with less than 3 furlongs to go in the Yulong Pretty Polly Stakes, Trevaunance coming there, one off the rail is Above the Curve. After them is Ross Carberry, then Goldana. Staying on is Stay Alert, ahead of Never Ending Story, and out wide, starting to close as Via Sistina, racing towards the final furlong, and they're bunching. Above the Curve is tackled by Via Sistina as they get close together, then Trevaunance and Stay Alert, but it's Via Sistina moving away as they run up to the finish. Is going to beat the home challenge in the Yulong Pretty Polly Stakes for George Boughey and Jamie Spencer. Stay Alert, Above the Curve follow in.
2 Group 1s in a week for Jamie Spencer. Cardham 80-1 last week. Via Sistina rather shorter than that today. Had to survive a steward's inquiry. We weren't too worried. Were you?
I'm not when I saw the video. I don't like her. She's never home before, but from the top of the straight when I was trying to get out from behind Wayne Lorden, I was struggling for a little bit, but once I got out from behind him, she accelerated quick. But once she got past Ross Carberry, she leaned on her, and I was only 2 parts of a length clear, and when you get pressure on your quarter, she leaned right in on top of him. But in hindsight also, the horse on the inside, Ryan, came out to the horse, Sir Martin Arbib horse. So once I saw the head on, I wasn't too concerned, but next thing you'd rather just win more smoothly. I had a plan going out, but go in third last, have her nice and settled, jump smartly, sit behind Ryan third, and she bobbed the gates, so it was straight to plan B. And I wasn't very comfortable for, I would say, the first 6 furlongs of the race. Came down off the hill, changed leads 2 or 3 times. I'm thinking, this is not really how I'd like to be going, but just got around the turn into the straight, and she passed one on the outside, and she came alive, and I was in business then.
Did she almost surprise you by how quickly she then seemed to kind of inhale the field?
Well, yeah, if you watched the racing here last night, I sat at home.
You couldn't win from the back last night.
Oh, he couldn't win from the back, and I've Will Bourne staying with me. He's Kieran Marr's racing manager. He was doing speed maps. He's saying, Coco, you can't be out the back tomorrow. So when I jumped out, I was going, oh my God. So look, I planned to be handy, and she's defied, bias from the track. A tailwind. It's not a tailwind. It's a gust of wind. As I said to Ryan before, an hour ago, I said if you got a skateboard, you'd fly down there with the wind behind us. And I think she's done well, and she's obviously a high-class filly, like we saw at Newmarket, and she stepped forward again. You kind of half pinch yourself the way she won at Newmarket, and you think, well, will she back it up? But clearly she has. Yeah,
you'd have to get out of bed pretty early in the day to outwit a guy like Stephen Hillen, and he's played an absolute blinder with her, hasn't he?
Yeah, and normally his partners in his horses, but miraculously he bought this for 5,000 and left everybody else out. So he'll be less a few friends tonight.
And as he was saying, just he and Becky are beginning to get quite attached to her as well. And I could see what he meant about her speed and thinking about maybe coming back in trip for the Falmouth. Is that a project you would endorse?
Yeah, on soft ground, yes. Yeah. Now this is difficult today because the ground's dried up to good, and with the tailwind, it's such a different test of what she's used to. But she's gone and done it, and I'll leave the race planning to Steve.
Last week you rode a Group 1 winner in the silks of Jim and Fitri Hay. Today you've ridden a Group 1 winner in the silks of Steve and Becky Hillen. They're all good friends of yours. It's nice having these friends when they own all these nice horses, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lesson to everyone out there. Be nice to your friends because you never know, we might need them one day because I can't get a rider otherwise.
But they've been with you a long time, haven't they?
Yeah, geez, and I know Steve from when he was head lad to Paul Cole, and when I came in Millennium, I arrived typical. Felt like thought it was the bee's knees. Arrived in 5 minutes late. Steve came cruising along on his bicycle with his brown jobbers and told me, "Oh, you're late, out." So that was my initial meeting with Steve Hillen. So well, we've become great friends over the years. And him and Becky, they're a great team and they're great friends. And yeah, to do it for them and like last weekend with Jim and Fitri, it's just extra special. It means like I'm in the last stages of my career, so you're doing it for people that you enjoy being around. So I was with them on holiday earlier in the week, so Becky was keeping an eye on that I was behaving well.
You say last stages. I'm not that close to the end, surely.
Well, like I'm riding nearly 30 years. How long can one person go? But you know, like I'm not going to be around forever. So you never know when it's your last throw of the dice.
Good break in the week. You feel fresh off the back of it?
Yeah, I only went away for 3 days. So I came home and I was preparing for this, and you're adding up, joining the dots and thinking, oh, what about the draw? Everything. It's a puzzle, isn't it? And
Frankie didn't drive you crazy.
Yeah, he was bearable. Yeah, he was in good form. It's always nice to see Catherine. Just happy he happens to be there.
Nice to see you in good form as well. Well done today, Jamie.
Thank you.
Stephen, just wheel us right back to the beginning of this story and where it all began.
Well, she was bought as a yearling in the December sales at Newmarket. She was sort of big and gangly, pretty weak, and she was a foal share. So basically, I don't think either of the parties were protecting her. So I didn't do anything clever. It's a very good cross, and she just needed a lot of time, and I was just there at the right time to buy her.
And was it always your intention to keep her, to have her yourself?
Oh yeah, always the intention to race her. She was too big, like she's nearly 17 hands. She's way too big to be a breeze up horse. But Jamie McGee broke her in, and sort of March time he said, or February March he said, oh this could be a breeze up, and I said, no, listen, we won't go there. And Joe Chu had done a magnificent job with her, nurturing her along, and it's she's just taken a long time to get to the level that she's at.
So what part of you was making a business decision, and what part of you was thinking, I want to have a bit of sport with her? What part of you started to get attached to her?
Well, listen, we always buy a few to race every year, and she was always going to race because of her physique, because of Fastnet Rock. They're big, plainish horses.
And he's had the first and second here as well.
Yeah. And I think I knew that cross was. I think it's 13% stakes winners, but I think it's close to 10% Group 1 winners on the cross. Yeah.
Quite something, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. The stats don't lie.
And so she's now with George Boughey. What has George done just to bring about that next level?
I just think that, listen, George is at the top of his game.
Not here today.
No, he's gone to his good friend Henry Lascelles and Violet Hesketh's wedding, which we're going to after this. So
I'm not sure what kind of Nicky's going to be in by the time you get there.
No, exactly. So I think it's just the pedigree tells you it's going to get better as she gets older. She was always going to be better at 5 than 4, and I think it's only her ninth or 10th start. So she's been minded, and it looks like it's paid dividends.
What does the future hold for her, either immediate or the long term? More decisions to make?
She could run. It depends how she comes out of it. I think she's versatile. She can go a mile to a mile and a half. She could come back and run in the Falmouth Stakes.
Really?
Possibly, or else the Nassau.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to go into some interesting opponents in both of those. Do you think she can do more still? Do you think she can do better still?
I think when the ground gets softer, she can really, I think she could do something special when the ground's soft in one of these Group 1s.
And then would we expect to see her in the December sale at the end of this year?
I need to speak to my wife. She's pretty attached to this one. So
well, you see, this is what I was getting at, you see, because I wonder at what point she starts becoming more a part of your life than you're used to horses becoming.
Yeah, generally speaking, it's you know,
business, normally,
yeah, it's business. They're there to trade. We do have some mares, you know, we breed plenty, but generally when they get this valuable, we sell them. But maybe not this one.
Well, that's nice to hear. I wish you all the best with the next step of this journey. It's been some journey so far.
Thank you. Fingers
Well
crossed.
done, Steve.
Subscribe to Racing TV's YouTube channel now to watch more great races like this.